Hello and welcome to Thursday Night Live. I'm your host, Dr. Rita Louise, and thank you all for tuning into the show today. Oh, has it been a week for you? Because it has been a week for me, and I am just so glad that tomorrow's Friday. Thank God. I think that's why they came up with that expression. Thank God it's Friday, because thank God it's Friday. Man. Anyway, so we're going to go on a different kind of adventure today. Thank you, Debbie Goulet, for this topic idea. So if there's anything that I happen to talk about or you would be interested in me speaking about, please drop me a note on Facebook or YouTube or wherever, and I will consider it and maybe even talk about it. It could happen. So today we are going to be talking about past lives. And so in a number of cultures around the world, there is a belief that we come back to the earth in a cycle. We're born, we live, we die, we take a little break on the other side, and then we come back to live another life. And when we are born, the memories, the conscious memories of that lifetime are erased. And we have the opportunity to go through life again with the goal of perfecting ourselves, and as they say in India, so that we can get off the wheel of karma and spend eternity in a state of nirvana in a filing cabinet somewhere. I don't know. So there are people that have suggested that, like Jesus and Buddha and whatever, have exited the wheel of karma and do not reincarnate on a regular basis, although they can choose to come back into a physical body to share their wisdom, share their teachings, etc., etc. This philosophy, which again is found in a lot of non-Judeo-Christian cultures, do not have the concept of heaven. Now, they do have the concept that when you're between lives, you kind of go somewhere. They're much more of a, we are energetic beings living in energetic existence. But there's not any heaven. And unlike what some people think, regardless of this philosophy and regardless of this doctrine, when we die and if we go to heaven, we're not freaking locked in there for like forever. And so many times when people experience a ghost in their house, not all the time, but they experience, someone that's close to them that's passed or whatever, it's because that person died. They had the life review process. They went to heaven or wherever it is that they go when they die, because we don't know. Anything we might say is just a guess on our part. But they're not locked up there for eternity, and they will come back and visit for a while. And it is not abnormal when doing a ghost hunting investigation to have the spirit of a grandparent be hanging out in the room of a newborn baby, or to have them come to a wedding. I've shared stories about this in my own personal life before, but the biggest thing is that in more Eastern traditions, there is no heaven because you're going to come back. Whether you come back like right away, whether you take breaks in between is a bit of a mystery. But you come back. Okay, so with that said, back in the day, so we're talking a long time ago, when I was coming up through the ranks, um, it was pretty normal for people who had issues going on in their lives. They weren't successful, they had emotional problems, they didn't feel loved, whatever it was. I got a hangnail on my finger, I got in a car accident. It really didn't matter. And they would just sit there and blame it on their past lives. And I would get these phone calls, and it's like, well, but it might be a past life that's causing me all these problems. And I would just go, usually we have enough issues in this lifetime to work on that we really don't need to start addressing past life stuff. Once we're done here, maybe that would be appropriate, but not so much. Today, people don't blame their past lives for everything, thank God. Well, I want to say thank God because they just moved on to something else, and it's equally kind of a pain in the butt. Now everyone has an entity attachment. And so if there's something that's uncomfortable or bad going on in their lives, they just want to blame it on the entity creating all of these issues for them. Sometimes that's the problem, other times not. Definitely not a past life issue. Anyway, so working as a psychic person, and with my clients, I have only really experienced a very small handful of people that I would specifically identify as, well, having past life trauma that has come into this lifetime and is causing them issues in this lifetime. And actually, let me back up a little bit. So in this lifetime, it is not abnormal for us to access information from a previous life. So what kinds of things do you have affinity for? Have you found that you love the beach and the idea of being in the warm sand and the sunshine and, going to Tahiti and the Bahamas, but you grew up in Minnesota and have never been to the beach? That energy, that longing, that desire might be coming from a past life. Also, there might be energies that you're tapping into that give you a more active skill set. I'm not really sure how to say this. So, for example, if you find that playing a musical instrument comes very naturally for you, knowledge about herbs and supplements, or whatever it might be that you did these things in a past life, and you are tapping into that energy, that information in this current life. But usually those things are pretty good, and who really cares? And why worry about it? But it's when there are issues in this lifetime that are creating problems. Sometimes, but again, often a very small amount, because when you look at someone's energy, okay, so when I'm working with someone and we're talking about some kind of challenge they're having, I can go and I can create a timeline, and I can go back on the timeline and go, okay, so when you were around this age and when you were around this age, and it got locked into place at around this age. And I don't need to go to a past life, because I just found like 3 periods in their life where this issue was formed, was consolidated, and was reinforced, that is now creating the current pattern of problems, whether it's a physical issue or some deeper emotional issue. Now, it's when I have clients that are talking to me about something and I follow their timeline and I get nothing that would even like remotely correspond to what's going on. Now I'm in utero and I'm still not getting anything. That's where I draw the line and go, there might be a past life issue going on. And while I do past life readings, a past life reading is kind of a looky-loo thing. You know, I can tell you stuff, but it's not therapeutic at all. And one of the things that can happen, so if I tell you the stuff about a past life that you may have had, it can contaminate you if you want to work with someone that does past life regression in a more therapeutic sense of the word. You know, there's nothing worse. So I've had people come to me and they want a past life reading. And so I'm giving them this past life reading, and, you know, weird stuff comes up, just weird stuff. And they'll be like, well, I was told that I was Cleopatra in a past life, or you don't know how many Cleopatras I've met, you know, and obviously there could only be one Cleopatra. So, you know, so I wouldn't want to say to you, hey, you were Cleopatra in a past life, and then you go do this past life regression and you're trying to find that Cleopatra lifetime. You know, it's just bad, just bad. So the point of this whole thing is, you know, if there are things going on in your life that you can't understand or explain, and it's not that I'm saying it's a past life issue, but there is the possibility that there is some past life involvement. And again, like I said, while I am more than happy to do past life readings for people, it is not therapeutic. And so if you're having an issue, it is really worth your time to find someone that does past life regression and past life therapy. So I even have a story. Again, not very many of my clients did I need to actually send off to someone. But I had a gentleman who came to me because he had a shoulder issue. I mean, to the point that he had to go on disability because he worked like construction or something, and he couldn't work. And I'm looking and poking and, you know, made some recommendations for supplements. But I just felt like there was this very emotional piece tied to what was going on, because he didn't hurt himself. He didn't fall. He didn't bang into anything. He didn't do anything. And so I'm doing the timeline thing, and I'm like, nope, 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 nope. And he was like, well, what happened? And I said, you know, I'm just going to stop there. And I had a girlfriend who isn't doing this work anymore, who did past life regression and a lot of therapy work. And she was like my go-to person that I would send people to. And he gave her permission for her to share the session with me. So apparently in a past life, when he was about the same age, so he was in his early 30s, in China, I think is what she said, he was walking across like a wooden bridge, and the bridge broke, and he fell into this deep ravine, landing on his shoulder, and nobody found him. And then he died. I don't remember what in this lifetime triggered all of the pain, but they were able to work through that. And within a couple of weeks, he was back at work. Again, I wish it was that easy for everyone and everything. So that's my past life information for today. You know, but look at yourself and look at the life that you live and the things that come easy to you, or the things that are challenging for you, or weird memories that might come up that are reflective of your life this time, because you might be actually pulling up a past life memory. And again, we're not all Cleopatra, you know, or King Tut, or, you know, whoever, you know, the important people are. Anyway, gonna do my announcements and then start answering some questions. No, what did I do that for? So if you would like to schedule a private consultation with me, please visit my webpage, soulhealer.com, loaded with lots of information. Just stop by, check it out. You never know, you might find something interesting. If you're a Facebook person, you know, please share with your friends. go to my Facebook group, Dr. Rita Live on Facebook, and join that group. I post to that a lot, and so you might find like really cool stuff. If you're more of a YouTube person and just happen to be catching this on Facebook, go to Just Energy Radio on YouTube and subscribe and like the page. You can find it in this live stream area. And dang, I didn't add it again. I now am airing on Rumble. So if you hate Facebook and you hate YouTube, which many people do, you can now check out this stream on Rumble under Rita Louise. Look for the poodle in the tinfoil hat, because that would be me. Okay, so some exciting news. So I just did the final approval for my new book. Dang, it was me all along, which will be coming out after the first of the year. It should be available for pre-order. I will let you know if it's available for pre-order by next week. It should be available like now. I mean, I just approved it this morning, but I don't think that process of transitioning it from like not being there to being there takes that long. And as I mentioned last week, one of my older books, Avoiding the Cosmic 2x4, is now available in an ebook format at all of your major book distributors. So ebook, Kindle, Nook, all those good things. All righty. So please post your detailed questions in the chat box, and I'm going to say hi to everyone, and then we'll answer some questions. All right. So we have Bradley George in the house. Hey, Bradley. And Wendy. Hi, Wendy. And Christine. Hi, Christine. And Roger. Hi, Roger. Already said hi. And Mark. Did I say hi to you, Mark? Hi, Mark. And a different Wendy McLean, and Otto, who I couldn't say Otto's name last time, but I can say it now because he told me how to say it. And Marco's in the house. Oh, and Pierre. Hi, I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for coming. Okay. And Terrence. Hi, Terrence. Nice for you to come. And my almost neighbor, Jacob. Hi, Jacob. Okay. All righty. So I'm going to go back, look for questions, but I didn't really see a whole lot, but let's just see. All right. So, so Roger says, hello, Dr. Rita. My name is Roger. Please tell me, what is this thing doing? Don't do this. All right, I have to look on this other screen. Usually I can look on this big thing over here. Please tell me what kind of reads you do. Not testing, just trying to find out someone who's good. Well, Roger, I'm freaking excellent. So basically, Roger, the kind of work that I do a lot of health work with people. I'm a medical intuitive. I'm a naturopath and have a PhD in natural health counseling. I love doing relationship work. Basically, I will talk to you about anything and everything, even like weird stuff, UFOs, implants, attached entities. The things that I don't do is I don't predict the future because I think that's crap. And I don't talk to dead people. Anything else, in my opinion, is fair game and on the table. All right. Thank you, Roger. That was just weird. All right, so Christine says, see, it's like blocking my view. This is kind of really annoying. And now I have to try. All right, so I'm just going to put this up for a second. I'll have to take it down so I can actually read this question. Why is it? Go away. All right. Christine says, hello, I have a question. I feel the energy changed big time with me and Jesse. I feel a loving way. Can you tell me the energy on this, or is it just a misunderstanding friendship? Okay. All right, this is being weird. Okay, Christine and Jesse. Okay, so it's a little hard to tell right now exactly where this is going, Christine. But I do want to say that I feel like the relationship, and I'm going to call it a relationship, even if it's just, a good friendship, has gone to a slightly deeper level. I feel like Jesse feels comfortable with you. I feel like he has opened up himself and his energy more to you. Um, when I look at his energy, I feel like there's confusion. I don't feel like he has a like rah, 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 attraction thing going on in this moment. So I'm not feeling like a heavy duty sexual energy, but I do feel a more heavy duty friend energy. But I also don't feel like he has exited out of the picture like you're 100% friend zone, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so Mark says, hi, Dr. Rita and Rumi. So hi, everybody from Mark. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, we don't have any questions. Oh, see, I'll put this up. But Marco says, Rita is excellent. Okay, so Roger says, so am I almost 20 years? I predict things. So are you trying to say that you do readings and you do predictions, Roger? Is that basically the idea here? All right. So Wendy, this is really annoying. It used to just click on it and I have to just click off of it. Okay. So Wendy says, I have some medical things going on to basically serve a higher purpose. Serve a higher purpose. I know you don't predict the future, but I'm wondering if you think I'm right to pursue a complaint against the hospital for the way the last procedure was handled. I hope I've made sense to you. Thank you. Okay, so Wendy, I'm going to read this again. And see, that's not really predict the future to me, because you have a very specific intent. Okay, so while I'm kind of thinking about this, so I had gone to the hospital for a test, and they said, well, this is your copay. So I give them the money, and then they send me a bill for like the same amount and are saying, oh, well, what we told you is just an estimate. And I had a cow. So then I complained about it. And while they were supposed to be like figuring out what happened, they sent my bill to collection. And then I had a fit. Today, they just reimbursed me $200. Ooh, $200, $200. And no, I'm not buying into you anything. Anyway, okay. So Wendy, I get that you're not happy with the service that you receive from them. When I look at what they did, other than being pretty unprofessional, I feel like, okay, in their mind, they did what they were supposed to do. And, my topic tonight was going to be customer service. So I'm going to go on a little customer service thing here. They did the minimal of what they needed to do and nothing more. And I feel like you needed more and they were unwilling to give it. So when I look at you pursuing a complaint, complain away. Definitely do that. Whether you're going to get anything from it other than the satisfaction that you complained, I'm not getting a definite yes. And okay, hang on. So I'm getting like there would be like a 40% positive outcome in your favor. Okay. And that's 40% out of 100. So I'm not feeling like it's a done deal. But it's 40%. So you might get something, for you to just go away kind of thing. I don't know. But I'd complain. I mean, that's like what I do. It's like you mess with me and now I have to complain. Okay. And again, Wendy, if you have any follow-up questions, just, or a bit more information about what was going on, post that below. But yes. All right. So Jacob even came and has a question. Oh my God. And you're a first timer. Yay. All right. So I think you could be hugely beneficial to me. Relationships have been a struggle. Oh, Jacob, how much time do you have? Okay. So I'm going to be very kind and just kind of keep this a little bit on the surface, but you know where I live. So, and you know that I love you and I like dancing with you and stuff. Anyway, so when I look at your relationship space energy, I just feel like there's some fear, all right, a lot of fear and hesitancy and intimidation. And I feel like, there's definite self-worth struggles that you battle with. I mean, if I was, 30 years younger, I would consider dating you, but I'm not. So that ain't happening. Did I just say that out loud? And Deb, I know you're listening. Don't be laughing at me. Okay, I'm just going to say this because I could just go on and on and on. And I don't really feel, Jacob, that this is the appropriate place to do this. But you should get my new book, Dang, It Was Me All Along, because it might help move you out of that place, or we can talk. Okay, I'm just going to leave it there. Let's just talk. All right. So Otto from Ohio says, not sure this is a good question, but why are my siblings so hard to deal with? Do you want my pat answer? Because they're assholes. Okay. So I get the impression, Otto, that you just kind of go to the beat of your own drummer and they just kind of like hover around in each other's opinion. And, and you were probably the scapegoat in the family. And, this is really sad to say, but I feel like things that you say, things that you do, things that are important to you are often discounted by the people in your family, like you're not good enough, or what you say doesn't have any value. And I feel like there's little cliques going on. And so, I guess the bigger question is, well, if you don't like dealing with them, then why deal with them? And that's a question you're going to have to ask yourself, or put yourself in the situation of having to deal with them. Holidays, sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and go, take one for the Gipper. But the rest of the time, it really becomes your choice as to whether you want to participate. Okay? All right. So Marco wants to know, Rita, do we have energy? Well, when I'm talking about energy, I am talking about, our chi, the life force energy that moves through us. And so if we didn't have energy on some level of another, we would all be dead. I mean, even plants and inanimate objects have some level of life force energy moving through them. And so, yes, we all have energy. And so I'm sure there's a deeper question tied to that. So I'm just going to leave that there for you to follow up on it, Marco. All right. So Christine said, thank you. So I hope that made sense to you and resonates with you. All right, Mark, you already asked that. At all, and I'm on a different camera because my laptop just crapped out, and I don't know that I can get back into the stream. Hang on. Enter studio. Wow, there I am. All right. Well, I'm gonna let myself back in here. No, go away. Go away. All right. It just really has been one of those kind of days for me. Again, TGIF. All right. We're just going to move on from that. Okay, so Wendy says, a couple of weeks ago, I asked about me and relationships, and you said you sensed I was unconsciously not open to an intimate relationship. I've since done some emotional clearing work and feel less resistance. What do you sense about me attracting a romantic relationship? Woohoo! Okay, Wendy. Okay, it's not seeming as hideous as it did before. There's like a little light there now. When I look at it, I feel like there's a lot of fear tied to it. A lot of unknown, but I also feel like, because you're kind of direct, that it is something that you would pursue, just to see if it's going to work and to kind of push your boundaries and stuff like that. But again, it moved from and that ain't happening, to there's a possibility, there's a glimmer of hope there. And I feel like the rest of it is just a lot of fear about the whole relationship process, relationship dynamic. Do they like me? And then what do you do with that? And what a pain in the ass. Okay. So Marco said, yes, she said it out loud. Oops. Jacob said, thank you. All right. Wendy says, thank you. That makes sense, as IVF is never a guarantee anyway, but they failed to offer pain relief, etc. That could have helped. And now I've heard there's been a campaign against painful hysterectomy, about the process in the UK and hospitals being negligent in informing people for options of treatment, basically so they save time and money. But I'll be happy to wait longer and pay to be treated right. I think complaining might help, even for the next person going through it. So thank you. Misinformation. Okay, so I do my own webpage stuff, and I've been having a lot of issues. And so I called GoDaddy for the millionth time, got a supervisor on the phone, and I just made some comment about what the last person had said to me. And I'm like, but she lied. She goes, our people don't lie. And I'm like, okay, so they give out misinformation, and so that sounds like that misinformation, same thing. It's like, well, they're not really going to tell you what you need to know. They're just going to tell you what's convenient for them and what's going to be the easiest for them. And, there's no care about you or what's going on. So I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. And yeah, minimally, I would complain, and then tell them you want your next room for free. That ain't going to happen. All right. So, Roger, I'm not really sure what this question is. Will we ever get our church, BD, October 10th, 1950? So, I'm assuming that's your birthday, which I don't operate on, but I don't know what is, will we ever get our church? And that really is kind of predicting the future. So, okay. So, Jerry says, would like to know if the issues that my son and his wife have addressed with us are really happening, and if so, is one of them trying to make life hard for the other, or is these issues coming from others, neighbors or family? Thanks. Okay, that's a kind of loaded question, not an undoable question, a little hard just because it's so condensed. So hang on one second. Your son and his wife, Jerry. I mean, without really knowing what's going on specifically, I do feel like there's something going on. I get the impression that the wife is the one that did more of the talking. And I feel like she kind of dramatized it, maybe put it a little out of proportion to what was actually going on. And I just feel like he didn't argue with her, and agreed with her, because it's not that she told lies, but I feel like it was exemplified and made sound bigger than it was. But there are some issues going on. I mean, she has kind of big energy and is a little bit on the controlling side, so I don't know if that's what some of the issues are, is that she's trying to run the show and he's not so happy about it. And if that is the case, I feel like at one point in time, the relationship was more balanced, but I feel like he kind of backed his energy off and is kind of over there and just into his stuff and his things, and not really putting energy into the relationship like he used to. So please let me know if I'm hitting there, because this is kind of a lot in not very many words from you. Okay. Thanks, Jerry. All right. So Otto said, bingo, you got it right. Yay. And then Marco said, that's because Rita is good. Damn it. Okay. And then Otto, yeah, I know I'm frozen. Okay. Well, I was out, but I'm back. Please. Thank you, Marco. And if you are on YouTube, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button, so you might get notifications on YouTube. Somebody let me know, one of you YouTube people, do you get notifications for the live when they are coming up? Marco, I'm sure you would know that as good as anybody else, so I can have that in my brain. All right, thanks, Marco. All right, so Tristan said, hi, Rita. I'm curious about what energy you can sense regarding me and my significant other. Okay, hang on, Tristan. Okay, So when I look at you in your relationship space, one of the things that I see is that you're both looking into the relationship. So that's a good thing. So, you're both putting energy in. But when I look at your energy, it's like I feel like you're a little bit smaller. I feel like you carry around anxiety. Uh, Being in the relationship, and when you're not around your partner you feel better, better in a different way, like that anxiety is not there. It makes me wonder if your partner is um, a little bit abusive, or if you've come from a uh, history of abuse, and that which would explain kind of your energy dynamic. I just feel fear and hesitancy on your part of confronting your partner and having the relationship be more equalized and stable. So follow up with me on that one. That's an interesting one. And Dawn's here late again. Hey, Dawn. All right, I'm not even going to answer your next one. So Roger says, I want a church for preaching, doing psychic readings. But that's like me predicting the future. I mean, I graduated from the Berkeley Psychic Institute, and they had their church. It was the Church of Divine Man, because, at that point in time, you had to be a minister, especially in California, in order to do readings, to get over the no fortune telling laws that were on the books. And it's interesting, Roger, because you say that you want a church, but I'm not really feeling like you want to have a ministry. I feel like there's some issues around that, and I'm not really understanding the connection of why you want or need to have a church in order to do psychic readings, because you can do psychic readings anywhere. But a church is more about a ministry or a teaching opportunity, educational kind of thing, which doesn't even have to be a church. So I'm not really getting the church connection part. Okay, so Veronica said, oops, I fell asleep. And then Cindy said, no, Gabby, which means Gabby has fallen asleep. Okay, so Dawn says, I wonder if you could feel that my son Paul and his wife has made me a grandfather, and Paul never talks to me anymore. He's 32. I mean, the answer I get is no, not yet. That has not happened yet. So, sorry. All right. Last question from Dawn. Do you see any more heart valve problems with me? Okay, so, and I'm just looking very specifically at the valves, and the valves look very solid right now. I'm not getting any like warble on them. Your heartbeat seems very solid and consistent. And those are the kind of things that I look for. I'm not feeling like, there's any like fibrillation or any of that kind of stuff going on. So I think you're good. I think you're good. All right, Wendy's back. Where are we time wise? Okay, I went to my chiropractor yesterday and he took my blood pressure and it was 20 plus points lower than the blood pressure cuff I'm using daily. Are you able to say whether there's something faulty with his or my blood pressure cuff? Not really. Different blood pressure cuffs will measure in different ways. So if you are going to the supermarket and using the machine in the store as your metric, then you should keep using that as your metric. because they're not really reliable. Okay, so they're not totally reliable in the big sense of the word, and our blood pressure shifts and alternates throughout the day. And so I would go with the one that you are using consistently to take your blood pressure as the baseline, because then if it's going up, it's going based on the baseline. And if it's going down, it's going down based on the baseline that you have history with. I hope that makes sense. All right, so Jerry said, all right, is there someone trying to get him to leave his property for some reason, or trying to get even for some actions that may have happened? All right, Jerry, now I have to scroll up because you've lost me here. Okay, all right, I see where we're going with this. There you are. I mean, they might be trying and, giving him the evil eyes, but I don't get the impression that he's going anywhere. And I don't feel like there's any legal action anyone could take short of his wife to get him to leave that property. And I don't get that it's coming from her. So. Okay. So Roger's back. I'm also a professional musician and want to perform there too. Again, Roger, I'm just not really getting the whole point of your commentary. All right. So Veronica says, recently I had a nasty psychic attack. Any idea who sent it? I mean, not really. I don't know your peeps, really. I mean, the impression that I'm getting is that it was someone in a store, someone that not somebody that you know, but somebody that you interfaced with in a customer kind of way. And they were just pissy. But not anybody that you know personally, and not one of your neighbors. It was somebody, I want to say almost random, who did it. And I feel like it was a one-time thing. So anyway, so I'm at the bottom of my list. So if anybody has any other questions, please ask them now. It's been a really long day, and I would be just okay in cutting this just a tad short. So it's kind of like, doing an auction. So going once, going twice, and now we have John, who I don't know, that says, I'm crazy. That's nice, John. Okay. All right, there were no comments, which means I'm just going to go through my little list and kind of cut out a little early. Thank you, guys. But again, I will be back here next week, same time, same bad channel. But in the meantime, please go to my webpage, soulhealer.com, and check out all the articles, drop me a note, schedule an appointment, sign up for the newsletter. You can get my books there, except for the ebook, and soon the Dang It Was Me All Along will appear on there. Join my group, Dr. Rita Louise, live on Facebook, where I post a whole bunch of stuff, or subscribe, do the little belly thing on Just Energy Radio. I don't know if you can subscribe. Well, you can follow me on Rumble. So it would be Rita Louise on Rumble. Look for the poodle in the tinfoil hat. And I need to add that on. And you know what? Hang on one second. Let's see if it's going to let me do this. Let's see if it's there yet. What? So the ebook is already online and it says instantly available, and it was not supposed to be available. All right, I need to fix that. It's not supposed to be available until after the 1st. And they're selling it. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to tell you, go. Oh. You know, Amazon just makes me crazy. It said $1.29. It's like, well, but then I clicked on it, it said $7.99. And so the paperback is not showing up yet. So just the Kindle version. So go there and get a copy. See, now that I say that I'm going, there's like 8 comments. And I'm sorry, guys. I already did my little announcement. So you're just going to have to come back next week and tune in and ask all your questions then. So until next week, see, I don't even have exit music because this thing crapped out on me. So until next week, I'm Dr. Rita Louise. This is Thursday Night Live. Be blessed.